called the blood-brain barrier, and which is composed of cells that operate electromagnetically. It's not just structural barrier, that's part of it. It's not just the chemical barrier, that's part of it. And they work electromagnetically. So physical trauma, if somebody has a physical traumatic brain injury, that's going to alter the blood-brain barrier, and you get bleeding and you get swelling and all those kinds of things that happen. So when many toxicants, and this is taken from another paper that I thought really did a wonderful job, but not looking at electromagnetics, but what happens when you broach that barrier, a wall that is meant for protection, it's trying to let through some stuff, but not the good stuff, and not let the bad stuff through. And when the bad stuff gets through, it invades, and it affects the components of the nervous system, which are always incredible. Neurons, the absolutely important white matter, when we talk about gray matter and white matter in the nervous system, and it has effects that can be physical or chemical. Those are the basic things that toxicants do. Electromagnetic radiation is, in a sense, physical, even though we can't see it in the form. It's electromagnetic. It's a physical process that has chemical alteration as well.
So the EMFs are piercing the blood-brain barrier. Are they affecting the way that, are they affecting us? I'm trying to phrase my question properly, but are the EMFs like affecting the way that our like neurons are communicating, or are they affecting like the cells specifically? Or is it kind of like, how does this work?
Yes, I think it's probably more diffuse in both. So there is direct, it's not just the blood-brain barrier, but it's affecting the cells and the networks as well. But as far as affecting the blood-brain barrier, when it's affected chemically or physically by the EMF, it affects the functioning. So it can't protect. If you keep bombarding a wall with radiation, over time, that wall is going to start to slowly break down.
So it's not just going through the barrier, it's also allowing other things in.
Right. And so that barrier part doesn't function as well. So things that shouldn't be getting through are now getting through, which further worsen the effects on the brain and the nervous system. Yes, just that.
I feel like this is important because I didn't really know this. So it's not just the EMF itself. It's not just the frequencies itself. It's that the frequencies are causing a break in the blood-brain barrier, which is then allowing other toxins in. So it is doing its own form of damage, but it's basically opening up a door to allow other toxins in.
Yeah, it's preventing the locking mechanism. It's breaking down the door. It's putting a hole in the door, or it's screwing up the locking mechanism, so it's easier to break in.
Okay.
And this is a bit of an older talk, but on the Environmental Health Trust is another website, which I think is extraordinary for resources, but you can find, and also Physicians for Safe Technology, which I'm privileged to get to interact with. I'm not part of them. I'm not part of their board or anything, but Physicians for Safe Technology is another wonderful, and look up blood-brain barrier. And there are a whole lot of
I've seen
published peer-reviewed articles. And again, in the prevention standpoint, precautionary principle, when in doubt, do anything you can to remove it. Don't put it on your body. Don't put it on your brain. And now I get it. I mean, every place we go, when I see people with Bluetooth or AirPods or whatever the correct nonpartisan term is, it's like it's a radio transmitting, receiving device on the side of your head or both sides that's constantly doing that, not just when you're talking on the phone or something. So does that, thank you. And I so appreciate your clarification is really good.
I mean, in my own, non-scientific terms, it is making a lot more sense, because it's like, okay, it's not necessarily that the EMF is the toxin. It's it's the almost like the army that's breaking down the walls that's letting the toxins in.